Well, I'll go and get started since Willie wouldn't let me ask any questions. I'll let you guys ask me questions. But first of all, we're excited to get started here in about a week and a half or so, and still pumped up on what's going on with our football program and things we got going on here. So it's a great time at Tulane. Really excited about it, and so we want to make sure we continue to do our part. They done a good job. We've had a long summer when you add on the China and the things that we've done. So it's been an extension of that. In 30 years, I haven't had to prepare like I prepared this summer, and so we had to be real careful not to do too much. I don't want to get to January and hit a wall. And that's one of the reasons I was real hesitant about taking that challenge of going to China this summer and playing the World Basketball Championship, because I know what it can do to you. So my whole thought process since we've been back is making sure we don't peak too soon, and that we don't hit that wall in January and February. All the other coaches that I talked to that did this had that same problem, and so we want to make sure that's not an issue for us. So we're just kind of easing ourselves, getting ready for the season.
You've made some predictions in the past. Some of them didn't exactly come true.
Yeah. Well, some come true, some hadn't. I'm not necessarily always in a prediction, but I can't predict this. I will not be the athletic director at Tulane. I can predict you. So I guarantee. Matter of fact, I can guarantee you that one.
You turned down the job?
I have turned down the job. I've turned it up. I've turned it sideways. I called Willie. Willie said he would quit the first day if I was his boss. So we're done with that. So.
Do you feel like this is a year where you have to make I mean, you've made steady progress,
yeah.
But do you feel like this is one of those years where maybe you can make a giant leap forward, and what does that look like?
Well, again, I don't look at it that way. When we took over this job, we just wanted to make sure every year, every day, every play, everything we do, we get better. We always talk about stacking days and stacking wins and those type of things. We've got a really good basketball team. I'm not going to hide that. We're really talented. We've got depth. Just a lot of things. You got to get lucky on some things that happen. But this is a really good basketball team. I learned a lot about us this summer. That was really tough, what we had to go through this summer, because, again, we weren't quite prepared. I wasn't prepared for some of the things that we had and went through, and I really believe it's helped us. I can see it in practice right now. But again, we got to go play the games. I know these guys are eager to play. These guys have got a lot of wins underneath their belt. They've been together for a long time. And so when this group of seniors leave, it'll be a little, because this is my last, what I call my covert recruits, when we kind of built the program. And so I don't think there's a team on our schedule we can't beat. There's been past times I said, well, we've got to play perfect to win this game or this game. I don't believe there's any game on our schedule that I can look at and say, boy, we got to play perfect to win. And that's how I know that the program has really gotten to the point now that we can win every game. And that's probably the first time I've been able to sit here and say that I can look at the schedule and say, we can win every game. That doesn't mean we're going to win every game, but every team on the schedule we can beat.
How point guard driven is your offense going to be this year, you think?
About the same as, if you know anything about our past, Kevin Cross has led us in assists the last 2 years. Sion James has been second. So, our point guards are really back, and so, and then we've always had the scores and some of those things. And then we added Kobe. Kobe's a really good player, and he's learning the position, learning how to play for me. So the point guard position for us is, that's not the biggest deal, because, again, the guys that create our offense and lead us to attack or start our offense are guys that will stay here in the program.
China experience will help as far as the physical nature of the play. Is that the biggest thing, Ron?
Yeah, the physical part. The mental grind was harder than the physical. Again, I thought that when we went, I thought we would have more control on what we could do inside of the country, and we didn't. To be somewhere, that trip took us about 17 days, and to not be able to do the things that we are accustomed to doing, I think took a lot out of us. But I love how we prepared. We were excited for the games. The off days were harder for us, but the games that and the games were physical. We were an underdog every game we played because we were the visiting team for the most part. Everyone loves to cheer against the United States, and I've never felt that before. It's the first time as a coach that I felt that. You're always worried about the other team, but I've never where we represented a country that most people just didn't want us to win, and 15,000 every night and screaming at at us, and I don't know what they were screaming. I thought they said, "I love Ron Hunter," but someone told me on the plane that's not what they were saying.
Like on the days off, did you feel like you were micromanaged, or?
Yeah, it's just we could, generally I would say, hey, let's go to the mall, let's go to this, let's go to this restaurant to eat. Those are things that we couldn't do. You had to have prior approval, and we couldn't get that prior approval. It was, it was just different. Usually when you take those type of trips, you can go sightseeing and taking tours, and we had none of that. And just we just kind of hung out with each other and talked to each other, and it was tough because it's weird because we couldn't even really break down film because they controlled how much the film and what can come in and out. So our normal things that we would normally do, we couldn't. But I thought it was great. I thought the guys bonded with that. There were a lot of times that we could have got upset about it, and we knew this is what we were doing, and no one got mad about it. We just thought, we kind of laughed, and we still laugh about it. Everything that happened, even at practice in times. We had the officials speak to us at our clinic, on our scrimmage the other day, and one of the guys said, "You guys can't be any worse than what we saw this summer, so we're going to be nice to the officials." Even I'm going to be nice to officials after some of the calls we got this summer.
You ever feel like you were being watched?
Yeah, you know what? Here's when I felt like I was being watched. The very first time we were in a crowd, and people were staring at me, and they were chanting, and I thought they were like excited to see me because we were in the United States, and I had 5 people ask me if I was Charles Barkley, and so that right there. I don't know if it was. I didn't even know what to say. So a kid gave me something to sign, and so I signed Charles Barkley. So that little kid's probably going to think that he met Charles Barkley, and 5 people called me that, and they were running up to me. So that was that's just about as much as we were being watched when they thought I was Charles Barkley. And so Chuck, wow, if you see that, man, congratulations. Someone actually thinks you look nice. I don't know because I lost some weight. It's not the weight thing, Chuck. It's not the weight thing. It's not even that. Charles is a good friend of mine, but it's not that. I don't know. I went to the room. I didn't even want to coach the next game, and I've never been called Charles. I've been called a lot, especially in this town, but I've never been called Charles Barkley. And so that was that was a highlight for me and a low light at the same time.
How did that impact your coaching, or going back to not having any film? I mean, did it bring you back to some grassroots kind of thing, just coaching basketball?
Well, the guys liked it because I couldn't prove anything, so they loved it. What I loved is that it was so loud I couldn't even sometimes even coaching the games. The timeouts were loud. I mean, the whole experience. And I thought our guys, especially our leadership, and you're going to talk to the guys that those guys were our leadership, and so they were able to lead on the floor. We had to keep our composure. A couple of times, it got a little rough, and we had to keep our composure, and they did a great job. I think they even kept my composure down because I felt like I was trying to get calls, and they weren't understanding anything I was saying anyway. But I thought our leadership did a tremendous job on that trip.
Going over that, what are you expecting out of your seniors this year, like Jordan and Kevin? What are you expecting them to take that next step forward in what manner?
Just lead these guys. You're going to have good days and bad days, and so never get too high, never get too low. That's one thing we talk about. You're playing a game of basketball. You're very fortunate, and so be appreciative of that, and they are. And so we got a lot of new guys that are younger that may not have play a lot, and they've been through that before, and show the leadership to make sure that that's what's great about the culture of our program. The culture of our program started when Kevin, Sion, and Forbes were here. And so that tradition has just kind of gone down. And so when they depart, we got these young guys that just take their place. And that's what I'm really appreciative of what these guys have done.
The landscape of the conference is a little bit different this year. How do you kind of feel like the league stacks up?
It's weird. I was a head coach when I was 30 years old, and conference championships used to be, man, exciting, and you knew everybody in the conference, you knew the players, but with all realignment and all that, it just doesn't have the same feel. If you put me to a test to name all the teams in the league, I probably couldn't. And so I worry about my team. I worry about who we play next. And I think it's going to be that way the rest of my career because the way, things change and, you start building for one thing. When I first got here, I thought, boy, you got to catch Houston. Now Houston's not in the league. I did the same thing when I was at Georgia State. I thought, boy, you got to catch VCU. And then VCU wasn't in the league a year or two later. So I've been burnt with that, trying to do that. And so now what I do is I just focus on my team, who we play next, and worry about it. Because I think that's what college athletics is coming to now.
So the last time that you've really been impressed with Percy Daniels' improvement, where have you seen where do you feel like he's going to really help you this year?
You know, by far the most improved player in our program over the summer was Percy. I thought he did a tremendous job for, he didn't play last year with his injuries and some of the things that he had. And so, and I wasn't expecting him to play very much in China. I wanted to kind of go with the veterans, but we needed his physicality. And he was tremendous. And so that's one of the things that we came out of there with really excited because, again, having a big body like that is athletic and just how he handled himself. He was our most physical player during that time, and we needed that. And so that'll be something that, we hope that carries over this year.
I know you've done well in the portal, but are you a fan of it or not?
Am I a fan of the portal? Kevin Cross, Forbes, Kobe King, Greg, yes, I think I am. Ron Hunter. Ron Hunter came out of the portal. That's a huge acquisition, but I'm a portal guy. I didn't start my career here. Have you? Is that the only job you had?
No.
Okay, so you transfer jobs? Okay, see, I think most of us sat in here, so we're all portal people. Okay, so this is Portal City right here. I hate using the word. I think it's a connotation of something that's extremely bad when you say portal. Again, that's a term that the NCAA came up with that I think is absolute. It's nonsense. Portal. What does that mean? When a kid leaves a situation that makes himself better, I did the same thing. I left a situation. I wanted to make itself better for my family. It doesn't mean I transferred. So again, I just that's the word that kind of irritates me a little bit. So I've got great young men. They all come from different backgrounds. They have different stories, and so that doesn't make it whether I'm pro or con. What I'm pro for, making sure that you live a happy life, and whatever that means, you do it. What would I call what? The portal? Wouldn't call any. I don't know. Same thing I call when I leave. Well, when you leave, if you decide to take another job, it's called congratulations. So that's what I would say. Hey, congratulations. And sometimes, guess what? It works, but sometimes it doesn't. Just like our quote portal situation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's some kids that are left here that sometimes those things are going to work and sometimes it's not. God bless them, and I don't have any ill will to anybody. Whatever you decide to do to make yourself happy, by all means, please do it.
You have a bit of a somber approach coming up this year with Kevin and Jalen's last year's coming up.
Somber?
Yeah, like somber. Do you have any kind of last ride feelings in those regards?
Somber. Well, I feel like with those guys, I got everything done except for their hair. If I could change anything, it would be their hair. I love them. I love them like they're my kids. My own children now have braids. My son, I saw him the other day, he's got braids. I didn't know that. So that's the one thing. I've tried to take him to the barbershop. Not that I would pay, because I know that's an NCAA violation. Y'all would suspend me for 20 games if I paid them to go to get their haircuts. So NCAA, I would never pay for them to get their haircuts, but I asked them to go with me down the street to go get their haircuts, and they have not. So 4 to 5 years with these guys, not one time have they gone to get their haircut with me. And so I'm hoping that maybe one day before they leave, they'll do that. I guess that's their power, their superpower. Braids are superpower. I tell you what, though, I told them this. They take me to the NCAA tournament, I'll get braids. I will. I've never had braids in my life. I will get braids. I will get them, and I will wear them for a year. That's another prediction. That's a prediction. We get to the NCAA tournament, I will get braids, and I will go to wherever they get their hair braided. I will go and get my hair braided. That's fine. You move. Am I a man of my word?
Yes.
Yes. So if it happens, I will get my hair braided.
And NIL, you can link them up with sponsorship deals where they could get free haircuts for Representative Barber.
This might sound selfish. Anyone that want to give NIL deals, please give me a call for me. I'm looking for an NIL deal. The hell with these guys here. They make all that. Half these guys make more money than I make right now. But for me, I need an NIL deal for my haircut, for the grocery store, for my dry cleaning that I dropped off. I just need some NIL deals. Not these dudes. This is a selfish coach who needs NIL deals. Please give me a call. This is not for my players. This is for me. 6 of my guys make more money than the head coach right now. So those guys are fine. We need to take care of coach. Can I identify the 6? Oh, you're going to meet half of them. Tell them to give the coach some money. Coach needs some money. All right, guys? All right, talk to my rich players. Come on, rich guys.